Hi guys, we'll get started in just a minute here. We're getting everything set up, making sure that I have everything handy right beside me. I hope it's not too dark. We were kind of hoping to be able to do this in person today, so I don't know that I necessarily have lighting set up to do a video, but we'll give it a go. A little bit of shadow, but hopefully we can manage, muddle through it. I suppose I should be happy that we can even use technology to still do this. I was really hoping we'd be able to get together in person. So welcome everybody. Happy World Card Making Day. Isn't it exciting that we actually have a whole day dedicated to do what we love? It is. I'm Diane from bohostamper.com, and today we are going to be working with the Gilded Autumn Suite products. I had offered my customers and folks who signed up for my newsletter a kit that would have everything you needed for today's cards. And I still have 2 of those kits, so if after watching this you are interested, please reach out and we'll make arrangements to get one for you. The kit includes everything you need to make today's cards except for your adhesive. You would need your liquid glue or tape runner. But it does include the beautiful autumn stamp set. Everything is already embossed or die cut for you. Of course, we don't send out stamped images, but you have your stamp set. And it includes ink pads. So, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or you need a catalog which shows you everything that we're going to use today, I can also help you with that. The Gilded Autumn Suite has beautiful paper, and the Designer Series paper is a specialty paper. It has a lot of gold metallic through the paper. I don't know if this will pick it up so that you can see the pretty shimmer. Actually, I have used quite a bit of this, so I don't even know if I have all my sheets left, but pretty papers. Stampin' Up! Has really gone above and beyond with this. And one thing that they've been doing lately that I personally appreciate, because I know a lot of folks out there maybe who are new and don't have a die cut machine, emboss and die cut machine, or can't afford to maybe get all the punches or all the different colors of ink or whatever. Stampin' Up's been making a lot of their products that you can use just with this designer series paper. For example, the punches that come with this set work perfectly. Oh, see, I don't have a whole lot of that left because we've used it for the kits. They work perfectly with the designer series paper. So we can use the punch, and a lot of the sweets now, the dies match up perfectly to the patterns on the paper. And you don't have to buy a lot of extras. So if you don't have every color of ink that you want to make your acorn with, it's already done for you in your paper. This suite does include also some beautiful brushed metallic. Oh, there's some extras. Good. We're going to need those. Brushed metallic paper. This stuff is so pretty. I'm going to have to make sure I get extra of this because this is going to be great for Christmas cards this year. We're also going to use the little acorn trinkets. They come in the suite. Those are included in the kits as well. Aren't they cute? And in addition to the ribbons that come in the suite, I've also used our faux early espresso faux suede ribbon on some of the cards, so that was included in the kits. But you definitely don't need to use everything that is in the suite. You can use stamps that you already have on hand or products that you have and make your own cards. The basket weave and the metallic ribbon, we used the metallic ribbon on one of the cards at least today. So let's get started, and if there are any other products that we use, I'll make sure I share those with you. Some of the stuff I included in the kits are discontinued items, but I have them, so I just shared them to use on cards today. Like I said, you can use products that you have on hand and dress these cards up and make them your own. The kit also included an instruction sheet that explains step by step how to put the cards together. And our first card is just a basic stamped panel. Originally, I had planned on using Cajun Craze as our basic color for today, which happened to be on back order. So I hurried and ordered some cinnamon cider ink to put in the kits, and lo and behold, the Cajun Craze arrived before the cinnamon cider, so my customers got a bonus ink pad this time, which should help with your products that you're trying to get together to make more cards. Remember, after World Card Making Day today, next week is sending these cards out across the world. Make some people happy and send smiles. We're going to start this card with a piece of Very Vanilla. Get all my little pieces now. And out of the stamp set, we just pick some of the see, I think we used the ones today with the little veins in it. This is a 2-step stamping set, and we can use the stamp that has the little veins to do our original stamp, and then use the filler to put a color into the leaf. But on this card, just pretty much made the outlines. So we have some Cajun Craze and some cinnamon cider. Grab another block. And our Very Vanilla is cut at 4 by 5 1/4 to fit on a Cajun Craze card base, which is half of an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of cardstock that is folded in half again, and we'll create a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base. This will be the base of our card. Our 4 by 5 1/4 inch Very Vanilla, we are just going to use our different colors of ink and stamp some leaves. When we're making a background, sometimes it's nice to vary the different intensities of the ink by stamping off once and then stamping onto our cardstock so that they're not all full strength. I also like to go off the edge of the paper so that it doesn't look quite so pattern-minded, I guess. And then we'll do some of these in our complementary color. And really, I had my stamp mat here to stamp on so that I would have a better impression. And don't know where that went. Okay. All right, let's get some of the maple leaves. Add those to our background. Reminder, when you switch colors, to not contaminate your ink pads, you're going to want to wipe off your stamps either with, I use a lot of times a microfiber cloth just to wipe off my block if I get ink on there. Or I have my little chamois cloth that I use to clean my ink off. Okay. Put those away for right now. And take the small piece of Very Vanilla, and I really do, there it is. I was going to say, I really do want my stamp pad for this because I want my sentiment to come out nice and even. this card I made into a thank you. Stamping our Cajun Craze. And I'm going to nice. And then I like to just trim my cardstock down. I think I included in the kits just a piece of scrap paper so that if we made a mistake, we can always use the other side. Got a little bit of glue residue on there from a card last night. Let's see if I can get that off of there. Or we can just re-stamp on the other side, which is what I think I'm going to do because I don't like that sticky look. Tend to get a little bit picky sometimes. Cleaner, better, looks great. That makes me happy. Oh, good. Sunshine. Let's move that over a little bit. We had a frost warning last night, and it was kind of dreary this morning, but it looks like Mr. Sun is going to interfere. Let's fix that. Oh, good. That's better. It's not going to do us much good if you can't see. All right. We also had a scrap piece of Cajun Craze. What I find the easiest to do is to adhere my stamped layer onto the background color. And then trim around it. Can you believe I just got ink on that again? And I don't think I'm going to use that trimmer since I have sticky on it. I'm going to close my ink up for right now and set it aside so that I don't get any more ink on anything. Just trim around my very vanilla stamped layer, leaving a very small border on this. Hope everybody's doing well. I really miss meeting in person. I was sort of hoping we could get together and have some coffee this morning and make some cards, but as long as everybody's healthy. I actually originally had put in my newsletter that we would meet today at my house, and thought about it for a few minutes and backspaced that all out and decided just to go with Facebook today. I just didn't want to cause problems for anybody who may be susceptible to germs. I didn't want to be responsible for anybody getting sick. So I'm going to trim this up a little bit on the one side. Let me see. I wanted to remind everybody that Stampin' Up! Is having a 15% off sale on Designer Series paper on selected designs right now through the month of October. I don't think that the Gilded Autumn suite was in that collection, but there are some really pretty papers in there. I know the snowflake paper is on sale, and the pet paper was on sale. Check it out. You know, go to Boho Stamper's website there and click on the shopping link, and you can see the different papers that are available. We're using the soft suede, the Early Espresso faux suede ribbon, and I'm going to just put a little adhesive on the back of my card and glue one end down. And I think I will trim a little of that off so it's not so thick on the back. We'll use some dimensionals here and put our greeting pop it up a little. Before I do that, I think I'll adhere the little panel. Isn't that cute? How you can make your own background paper and you don't even have to go to the expense of buying a lot of papers. It's so easy to do. Just, you know, a couple of colors of ink. Make sure we have this facing the right direction. Centered on here. And we will add our thank you greeting on the front. Looks pretty straight. And our embellishment that we used on these are retired. I did get these off of clearance, and I'm really sorry that they're gone because they just match so many different cards. But with the brushed metallic, these came in really handy over these designer elements. So if you have a chance and you happen to see these pop up anywhere on clearance again or something by chance, you're beautiful. I'm going to add 3 of these just for some interest. Oh, there's an extra. Save you, little buddy. And there's our first card. Very easy to make. Pretty autumnal. Not too hard. Let's see, which one are we going to do next? Our next one is on an Early Espresso background. And again, we're going to do some background stamping. And for this one, again, we've taken an 8.5 by 11 sheet of early espresso, cut it in half, and then scored it and folded it in half again. Make 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch base. I have a piece of plaid that I've taken from the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. Another really pretty set to use for autumn. Great plaids. 6 by 6 sheets that are double-sided. And they are great as a background. And I save my little strips of leftover paper because they do come in handy just for any card that you want to add a little extra color to. Really pretty colors. So we're going to add this strip, and then we have, the strip of Plaid Tidings is 1.5 inch by 5.5 inch. We have a Very Vanilla 3 1/4 by 4 inch little rectangle. And we're going to use some of the metallic ribbon from our combo pack. And where did I put this little acorns? We're going to add a couple acorns. Let me see. When I stamped the little seeds on our Very Vanilla, I used Cajun Craze, but I really wanted it to be kind of a lighter background, so I stamped that off twice. Our pine cones, we did the 2-step stamping, and that is all done with just our 2 colors of ink. Let's get that stamp pad back in here. This is Stampin' Up's Piercing Matte, which I don't think is in the catalog, but it is still available. They had originally decided to discontinue that, but it's such a handy tool that it's available again for us, thank goodness. So using our cinnamon cider, where's my little leaf? We're going to need, there it is, this one to fill in our color. And we're going to need our pine cone. And I think that was it for here. So I kind of visualized where I want my stems to meet because that's where I'm going to put my ribbon across the bottom. And I really didn't want full strength on these, so I did stamp off once. That could have been a little bit firmer. It's a good thing these have 2 sides to every sheet of paper, right? Because that's better. I'm using them today. This one is going to be a little bit shorter, and so I just pretty much use my finger and wipe the ink off the end of the stem so that it doesn't go below where my little pretend horizon line is. Clean that one off and use a little wheat branch. I'm going to do this one in cinnamon cider. And then use the little leaves filler stamp to add color. Because this is a photopolymer stamp set, it's pretty easy to line up. Excuse my head. Adding the color to our leaves. Isn't that cool? This one. Look at that. Aren't they pretty? You can use these same stamps, and when you make your panel for the inside of your card, maybe do a little bit of the same design on your inside. If you think it's too dark for your inside, stamp off 2 times and then make your impression. Okay, where's my little seeds out there? And this is the one that I really, actually on my original card, it still is a little darker than I wanted it to be. I just wanted, let's see, maybe I'll stamp off 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll just add a little bit of, that's probably better. I think I like that. And craze, make sure I'm on the right color. That would have been caca. 2, 3. There we go. That'll work. And we have to do our little pine cones. Remember, you can be using whatever stamps you like, whichever colors you like. These are your cards to make your very own. We're here to inspire. Now, using cinnamon cider, I'm going to stamp full strength with my little pine cone. And then with the second filler stamp, I want that to be a little lighter. I'm going to cover up the detail of the pine cone. Great. And last but not least, you have to add a little bit of a greeting to the front. Have a beautiful day. one little tip, if you're using a long strip sentiment such as this one, you may want to lay your sentiment down and pick it up with a block. Kind of helps to avoid warping the photopolymer if you try to stick it directly on the block. I'm gonna try it out first. Looks okay. Make sure it didn't go curvy on me. And this I do want full strength because we have our little seeds there, and lining this up in the center of our Very Vanilla and pressing firmly, not really pushing too hard. I don't want to smear the letters. Have a beautiful day. Alrighty, we can put our card together. I'm going to line my plaid paper up along the edge of my card base. We have to put our ribbon stick. And then I want to use this extra piece to add acorns. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to glue this to my card base before I do that so that it's not too lumpy from Now if I just thread some of the metallic ribbon, we had pine cones like this last year in one of the Christmas sweets. Those were really cute too. I just used those. We went to an event a couple weekends ago here, a couple of ladies, and I had made little take-home bags and tied the pine cones around them. And then just to prevent the weight of the acorns here from flipping the ribbon around, I'm going to put a little glue dot behind there. I save all my little glue dots and dimensionals from my paper pumpkin kits. Keep them here just in case I have a card like this. And it's easy enough to stick those in place and trim my ribbon. It's a little too long. And there's card 2. Alrighty, card 3 is on crumb cake paper. And this card I actually found, I was inspired by a card off of Pinterest that I found by Charlotte Mallet. I don't know if this was her original design or she maybe had been inspired by somebody, but I thought the card was really simple but elegant, which is one of my favorite styles of cards to make. And so that's what we went with. Using another half sheet of cardstock, which is cut in half again. And folded. I don't think I scored this one. There we go. Then I took another piece of crumb cake, which is 2 inches by 5.5. And I put this through our embossing folder. Let's see, this is the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. This is a 3D folder. It's really kind of thick and gives a little bit of a woven texture, sort of like a tweedy. Very pretty, subtle bit pretty. This is really a pretty handy embossing folder. Again, you can use that when you're making any kind of card. We also have a 2 inch by 2 inch square of our specialty designer series paper from this suite, and also a small 1.5 inch by 3 inch strip of the chevron design. We're going to use that kind of in the middle, and we also have a little bit of the crumb cake twine. I think I had this left over also from a paper pumpkin, but there is, I know that there is still twine available in the catalog. And we have 2 acorns that were cut from the designer series paper using the punches. One of them. Where is that other little guy? Aw, where'd he go? This is just a little scrap of paper that I kind of played around with the stamps of the leaves. I stamped with Cajun Crayon white paper. I stamped with the mint macaron on mint macaron paper. This one I think is Cajun Crayon mint. Just so that I could see what some of the different designs would look like using various inks and paper. I might have, oh, where did I put that one I just cut out? Because I lost, oh, there he is. Yay. Come on, buddy. There you go. And I ended up cutting up a bunch of these little acorns and leaves and throwing them in a dish. And as I've been doing my Thanksgiving cards for my family, I grabbed these and add them. But that kind of gave me a little bit of an idea of how I wanted to make my leaves for our last card that's coming up. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is take this little strip of the chevron paper and wrap our twine around it as many times as you want. Tie a little knot on the front. I've also been working, we have a couple of our Relay for Life teams here, we're going to have craft fairs in the spring for Hope Fest this year, and of course those got put on hold along with everything else. And the one team that I had signed up to make cards for has rescheduled for November 7th finally. And so I've been working to try to restock my cards for that and to come up with some designs for card make and takes, because originally my cards were going to be Easter and Mother's Day, and those are no longer appropriate. So we're going to have to do some Christmas designs or Thanksgiving. There we go, tie a little knot. I like to fray my edges a bit. I like it a little bit sort of rustic looking, I guess. Natural looking. Fray my ends up a bit there. Okay. And because this little panel is embossed, sometimes using a liquid glue is better for that than trying to use a tape runner to make sure that it gets into all the little grooves of the embossing. I like to use the Tombow green lid glue. And again, I'm going to line this little embossed panel up to the left side card edge. And here is one little tip too, because this now has given dimension to the card. If I glue this directly, this little 3x3, if I glue this directly, or 2x2, my paper is a little bit uneven here, giving it kind of a warped look. And so sometimes I'll just take a little scrap of paper How about this little handy dandy mini trimmer? I had a special last month for my birthday that folks who ordered the new cut and emboss machine from Stampin Up from my site got a free mini trimmer. So thanks to everybody who got those. I hope you're enjoying your die cut and emboss machine. I love mine. Oops, that's just a little bit too long. This doesn't even have to be the exact size of your paper, just something to help even up the layers. Okay. Now when we put the glue on the back of this little square, add it to the front of our card, that little extra layer of scrap paper underneath helps to even this out. Again, I'm using liquid adhesive because part of this is going to be on our embossed panel, and I want to make sure that it stays on there nice. Let me see, I think I left my stamp for this one in the Stamparatus because I was making some extra cards. Yes, I did. Probably should have stamped this before I put our panels on there too. I don't know what I was thinking. But all is good. For this card, I'm using Life is Better with You. Again, I like to good thing I tested it because I want to do this one with the cinnamon cider. I think on the crumb cake paper probably would have looked pretty much the same anyway, but that's better. Yep. Cinnamon cider kind of has a bronzy look to it. Works out perfect with this brushed metallic designs in the paper. Life is Better with You. And that is our third card. Oh, I forgot to glue up. There they are. These little acorns are so tiny. I keep losing them. I'm going to add a mini dimensional behind these to help them should have done that to my chevron strip too. I guess I had that popped up on the original. I think I like it up better than lying flat. And I'll just add a little adhesive to the top here so that I can stick it on my strip. I'm using Stampin' Up Stamp and Seal Plus. There. Works wonders. And very strong tape. Come on. There we go. There we go. A little nutty card, huh? All right. Card number 3. And then the last card that we're going to make. This one took a little bit more time because we're using, where did I put my little gold ring? Here we go. This is a gold hoop embellishment, and it came with the Forever Greenery Suite. It is available by itself, but we're going to use that and make a little bit of an autumn wreath. So this I definitely want to use a silicone mat for so that I don't end up getting glue all over everything. And any of the punched leaves and stamped the way that you prefer them. Like I said, if you wanted to maybe stamp some out. I think even in the kit I put some plain leaves in there so you could use your stamp set and add ink to them if you like, or you can just use the ones that are cut out of the designer series paper, or you can use the ones that are punched out with the leaf design. Whatever you feel like doing. I also used our leaf punch and stuck a green leaf in with the kits. And what I did for that was cut one of the leaves off so that I can layer it a little bit underneath it when I'm putting my fall leaves on. I want to try to keep those leaves to the outer edge of the hoop so that when we layer the gold hoop on top of our sentiment, we don't have the leaves going over top of those. And this circle was cut out of our stitch shape framelits. This is a handy dandy set too. We have ovals and circles in here and squares. So here was our which one did I use? It worked really, that one worked really good with the hoop. Kind of just like made for it. So those were cut out ahead of time, and we're just going to stamp our greeting on there. And the one that I picked for this was "My heart is grateful for you." And you know what, I'm just going to leave this one right in my Stamparatus and use it because I have some other cards that I have to finish making with those. Stamparatus is a really nice stamp positioning tool from Stampin' Up. You don't have to keep switching your blocks around, and once you have lined up where you want your image to be stamped, you can just stamp card after card after card with this. Looks good. There are some magnets in here to help hold your cardstock down. You want to make sure that you don't get your magnets too close together because they stick, and then sometimes when you go to take them apart, they break, as this one did. But I still keep it and use them. I'm using Cajun Craze on this one because it is going to be on a piece of Cajun Craze Designer Series paper. The nice thing about a stamp positioning tool also is if I lift this and didn't get a nice clear impression, my paper stays where it is up. See? Perfect. For example here. I just stamp it again. And my stamp is lined up in the same position as my original stamp. And there we go, that's much cleaner. Nice impression. I got my Stamparatus and then hadn't used it and hadn't used it, and last year when I sent a lot of Christmas cards. When I started sending my Christmas cards out, I pulled out my Stamparatus and set up, excuse me, set up my greetings and just whipped through them so much faster. All right, I used a cinnamon cider card base on this card. Our gold hoop, which we're going to make into the wreath. A 4 by 5 1/4 brushed metallic square that I used then. Oh, our Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I die cut the center out of this panel. Then I took a piece of the Designer Series paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5 inch. When we layer this up and we put our brushed metallic on the card base, then our Designer Series paper, you never even notice that we cut the square out of the middle. And then this will be our base to put our wreath on. On my card, I offset the wreath to the left. You don't have to. You can put it in the middle if you want, or at the top or the bottom, wherever you feel like. But I want to get my wreath made here so that I give it a chance for all the leaves to dry. And I just added a little bit of Tombow glue to the metallic hoop. This would be pretty too if you had some vellum leaves cut out. That would be nice. Overlap these a little bit, so and you can make it as full as you want to. You could make your leaves go the whole way around your hoop. Let's add some more Cajun Craze here. One of my favorite colors. Tombow glue is kind of nice because you can position your images around a little bit. Gives you a couple seconds there to make up your mind where you want it to be before it's a permanent fix. I also learned that you can use Tombow and put it on the back of an image and set it aside to dry. And it gives it a mild tackiness that you could pick up and move again. I like that. I think I want one more on the top. Do I have another one? I like that green leaf sticking up there by itself. He looks a little lonely. All right, we're gonna let that sit and dry for a minute while we put the rest of our card together. I'm gonna close these so that I don't get any more ink on places it shouldn't be. Since I continually put my hand in it. All right, and we're gonna take our cinnamon cider card base now, and we're gonna glue our metallic layer to this. and our designer series paper. Like I said, if you're interested in any of these products, or you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like one, or you need a catalog, we have a mini holiday catalog, which is where all these products are displayed. And we're going to use dimensionals on our metallic panel here. I'd love to help you out, get you whatever you need. Feel free to let me know and we'll get you set up. I do have an online stamp club, Free Spirit Stampers, which is free to join. You order your products through Boho Stamper using my host code each month, and you are eligible to earn Stampin' products at a discount or free items. We also have some contests and a birthday club, so you get $10 off your birthday purchase. All of that is information that's available on my website. I'd love to have you join. All right, now we can put our greeting onto the metallic layer, and we will add our wreath. I want to make sure that I don't get this over too far because my leaves are gonna, you know what, I think I'm gonna glue this to my greeting first. And I'm using the Tombow and just adding to the back of my gold hoop. If I put the greeting down there first, my leaves may hang off the edge of the card. This fits just inside the stitching of our circle. That's better. Now I can line it up and make sure it's not gonna go over the edge. There we go. And to finish this card off, this ribbon, did I write down what this ribbon is? This is, I don't think I did. This was a ribbon too that came, I think this came with the Boho Indigo little card kit from Stampin' Up. And I think that's the one this was from, because I tried to order this separate and I couldn't find it, and I really like it. And I cheat when I'm making these little tiny bows and use my little ribbon maker. I can't remember if I made these bows up ahead of time or just sent the ribbon in the kits. Not the best bunny ear bow maker, so these make them small enough for me to use the right scissors and trim my ends. I'm just going to glue that onto our little wreath. Not on my finger. And I'll let that sit and dry for a minute. And if the flaps of your bow kind of don't stay where you put them, you can always use a glue dot to make them. Oh my goodness, my hands are so dry, I'm sorry. I keep pulling the bow right back up. I want to put lotion on them because a lot of times the oils in the lotion will leave marks on paper. That's not a good thing. So we'll let that sit and dry. I'll just use a block to weight it down while it's drying instead of my hand. Alright, and there we have 4 autumn cards that we only actually used 2 colors of ink today. I hope that, which one did I, oh, this guy. I hope that this inspires you to go make a card and get them sent out in the mail. Make somebody smile with happy mail. And again, if you need help or some product, you can always reach me at diane@bohostamper.com. I'm excited to hear from you, and enjoy your World Card Making Day today, and don't stop here. Keep making more. Have fun, and thanks for joining. Bye.